Sony's Z flagship smartphone line has been replaced with the X series, but the phones still follow a familiar design language. However, smartphones are not all about the looks. This is Linus, stay tuned for a full Sony Xperia X review. Just before we start, I wanted to give a shout out to the Club Technology UK, which sells the phones online at great prices, ships them globally, and they sent me the Sony Xperia X for a review. All the links will be down below in the description. The device ships with all the usual stuff that includes a wall charger and the USB cable. This Xperia phone may carry the new X name, but it follows a familiar Sony's design language. The phone is well built and it uses some premium materials like a metal trim, which goes all around the device, and a metal backplate. The device is very compact due to its 5 inches 1080p display, which is sharp and vivid, and it is a high quality panel overall. We have a hefty 13-megapixel selfie shooter, the LED notification light, and the front-firing speakers, which do not sound amazing, but they are pretty good for the class. All the buttons sit on the right side of the phone. The power button doubles as a fingerprint scanner, which is very convenient to unlock the phone. The scanner is fast and accurate, but however, it does not work straight from the standby mode, meaning that you should physically press the power button to wake your phone up first. Other buttons are nice and tactile, and we also have a dedicated camera button. However, I'm not a huge fan of the unusual placement of the volume rocker, as sometimes I end up pressing it accidentally. When it comes to the camera, we have a powerful 23-megapixel shooter which has f2.0 aperture and a single LED flash. The SIM card and the microSD card tray is covered with a flap, and that's okay, but the annoying thing is that the phone restarts automatically every time you open it up. Overall, the phone is very comfortable to hold in the hand and it does feel premium. When it comes to the internal hardware, the Xperia X falls into the upper mid-range category. It has an octa-core Snapdragon 650 chip with a maximum clock speeds of 1.8 GHz, 3 GB of RAM and 32 GB of expandable storage. Even though the phone does not have the most powerful internals, the Snapdragon 650 handles 3D games very well. There were just a few minor skipped frames at the highest graphics when playing the Asphalt 8. The day-to-day performance of the Android 6.0 based user interface is also good. The phone is fast and fluid with quite a few apps running in the background. As far as the UI itself, we have quite a few customization options, various tweaks and settings to choose from. For example, you can change themes, wallpapers, font size, adjust color temperature of the display, and so on. I took all the pictures at the maximum resolution to check the full potential of 23-megapixels XMR shooter. The camera can take some good-looking pictures with a lot of resolved detail and sharpness. However, most of the shots have softer focus on the corners and the image processing leads to a little bit colder-looking colors. When it comes to the low-light photography, I expected a little bit more from this camera. Sure, you can get some fine-looking images, but most of them will have quite a bit of noise and even some focusing issues. Also, it takes quite a lot of time to take a picture as the camera needs to deal with 23 megapixels. The phone can shoot videos at the maximum resolution of 1080p, and the image quality of footage is great. There is plenty of detail and sharpness, but most importantly, the electronic image stabilization does a great job reducing the shakiness. A 13-megapixel selfie shooter can take very detailed and nice-looking selfies. As for connectivity, I didn't have any issues with Wi-Fi, GPS, call quality or signal reception. Also, the phone supports NFC. On paper, it seems that Sony Xperia X has a small battery of just 2620 mAh. On the other hand, this device is the first phone to launch with a Q-Novo type battery. That means that it has a longer life and it will last hundreds of charge cycles more than a conventional lithium battery. In practice, the battery performs pretty well. I could get over 4 hours of screen on time despite using the phone quite intensively. Also, the phone drained quite a bit of energy since I was in a bad signal reception area on the weekend. Lastly, the phone supports Qualcomm's Quick Charge 2.0 tech, but it ships with a conventional charger rated at just 1.5 amps. With the right charger, you can fully charge the phone in around 1 hour and 15 minutes. Sony Xperia X has its pros and cons, but we have to answer if it is actually worth the price. The phone has a classic Sony design and good build quality. The display is nice and sharp, and the day-to-day as well as gaming performance are good. However, the 23 megapixels camera is not always reliable, and sometimes it can be even underwhelming. Also, the button placement is kind of awkward to me. Lastly, the battery life is good for its size and it will get you through the day, but Sony's claim of 2-day battery life is way too optimistic. All in all, Sony Xperia X cost £382 or $450 US. It is a decent phone and it has more pros than cons, but it is slightly overpriced if we compare it with the rest of the competition. It was Linus, thanks for watching, and as always, if you have any questions, please drop me a comment down below, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and follow me on social media. See you in the next video soon.